Ever thought about how a brilliant scientist could end up as one of Gotham's coldest villains? Today, we're diving into the frosty origin of DC Comics' Cryonic Man, a character whose story is as chilling as his powers. So, grab a cozy blanket because things are about to get icy. Let's rewind to November 1955 in Detective Comics issue number 225. This was the golden age of comics, bursting with wild scientific experiments and caped heroes. It's here we first meet the guy who would become the Cryonic Man. But hold on, he wasn't always a villain. His story kicks off with Dr. John K. Williams, a brilliant scientist with big dreams. Dr. Williams was no ordinary scientist. He was a true genius in cryogenics. Picture a time when space travel was just a fantasy and computers were as big as rooms. While everyone else was dreaming, Dr. Williams was already working on freezing living things and bringing them back to life. He believed cryonics was the key to immortality, a way to cheat death. His lab was filled with glass beakers, buzzing machines, and frost-covered chambers. He was all in, pouring every waking moment into his work, dreaming of a future where diseases could be paused and humanity could travel to distant stars in suspended animation. At first, his intentions were pure. He was on the verge of a breakthrough that could change everything. But you know how it goes, ambition can lead to disaster. One night, while burning the midnight oil on a crucial experiment, things went haywire. A sudden equipment failure triggered a chaotic scene in his lab. In a desperate attempt to fix the meltdown, Dr. Williams found himself trapped. The cryogenic chamber he built to save lives turned into his prison. A wave of supercooled gas engulfed him, and just like that, he was frozen solid, a human statue encased in a block of ice. To everyone else, he was gone, a victim of his own obsession. For years, Dr. Williams was stuck in frozen stasis, perfectly preserved but lost in a silent, icy dream. The world moved on, but time stood still for him. Then, one day, something unexpected happened. The power systems in his abandoned lab surged, causing his cryogenic chamber to thaw. But the guy who came out wasn't the same Dr. Williams who went in. The intense freezing process changed him completely. He could now handle sub-zero temperatures that would freeze anyone else solid. Plus, the accident fused his mind with his own technology. He wasn't just a man anymore. He had become a master of the cold. This traumatic rebirth twisted his view of the world. The life he woke up to was foreign, and the years he lost in isolation turned into a bitter resentment. His brilliant mind, once focused on saving lives, now aimed at a darker purpose. He saw warmth and life as weaknesses that needed to be controlled. The cold, unchanging order of ice became his new mantra. Dr. John K. Williams was gone, replaced by the Cryonic Man, a supervillain ready to unleash his chilling will on the world. So, what can the Cryonic Man actually do? His powers stem from his scientific genius mixed with that freak accident. He doesn't have innate freezing powers like some other characters you might know. Instead, he uses his smarts to create advanced cryogenic tech. Think of him as an evil Tony Stark, but with a frosty twist. His main weapon, a high-tech cryo gun, a device of his own making. This isn't just any freeze ray. It can unleash blasts of intense cold that freeze anything or anyone in an instant. He can whip up walls of ice, create slippery patches to trip up his enemies, and encase opponents in solid blocks of ice, effectively taking them out of the fight. His suit is a marvel too, keeping his altered body temperature in check and protecting him from his own weapons while boosting his strength and durability. He's a tactical genius, turning a warm day into a winter wonderland in seconds. He doesn't just fight, he changes the whole battlefield to suit his icy strengths. As the Cryonic Man, he naturally crossed paths with Gotham's finest, especially Batman and Robin. His first appearances showed him as a serious new threat. Imagine trying to battle a guy who can turn the ground into a slippery ice rink or freeze your batarang mid-flight. He wasn't just a physical threat. He was a strategic one, pushing Batman to adapt to this unconventional warfare. For Batman, a creature of the shadows, facing a villain who could light up the night with glistening ice was a unique challenge. Their battles became legendary, a clash of darkness and cold, tactical brilliance against scientific power. The Cryonic Man wasn't just another thug. He was an intellectual equal, a fallen genius who could predict Batman's moves and counter them with a blast of engineered winter. He was a force of nature, albeit an artificial one, quickly establishing himself as a serious adversary in Batman's rogues gallery. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Unlike many villains who are just pure evil, the Cryonic Man's journey is filled with moments of real conflict and doubt. Deep down, beneath the layers of ice and resentment, a flicker of Dr. John K. Williams still exists. There are times when he questions his choices, when the scientist within him recoils from the villain he has become. These moments of introspection add a fascinating depth to his character. He might see a family enjoying a sunny day in the park and feel a pang of longing for the life he lost, or, in the heat of battle, he might hesitate before delivering a final, freezing blow, a whisper of his old self reminding him of the value of life he once cherished. This internal struggle makes him compelling. Is he truly a villain or a tragic figure trapped between the man he was and the monster he's become? This potential for redemption hints that maybe, just maybe, Dr. Williams could thaw his own frozen heart and find a different path. It's this tragic depth that elevates him from a simple ice villain to a memorable character in the DC universe. The Cryonic Man's story is a classic comic book tragedy. It's about ambition, loss, and the corrupting power of knowledge. From a brilliant scientist dreaming of a better future to a cold-hearted villain trying to freeze the world into submission, his journey is a powerful reminder of how easily one can lose their way. His internal conflict and the possibility of redemption make him more than just another foe for Batman. He reflects the thin line between genius and madness, between saving the world and destroying it. His legacy is frozen in the pages of DC Comics, a chilling saga of a man who wanted to cheat death, only to become a living embodiment of its cold embrace. What do you think? Is there hope for Dr. Williams, or is he forever lost to the ice? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic comic book origins. Catch you next time.